Hi babes. Hi babes and babettes. Hi. Hope you're well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's been yo day 2 of the new year, man. And Satan has already, he's been tussling with me in a way that I enjoy, but he's tussling. Anyway, let's not get into it. I'm doing my journaling. As you can see, my personal journal and my planner. And a new pen. Oh, I love pens. And I was thinking about my goals for the year. And a big one that came up was obviously that I didn't post a single video for a full year. Yeah, I did that. So in order for me to get back on the YouTube bandwagon, I need a little bit of help on video ideas. Please, if you may. I'm going to put up a little box for you to basically drop any video suggestions that you might have. I'm not committing to being regular, nah. It would be an absolute lie if I said I'm going to be regular. I'm committing to making some content throughout the year. When I feel like it, for fun. I'm committing to being myself on the internet and showing up honestly, good or bad. And as far as social media is concerned, well, not socials anyway, I'm recommitting to sharing my life. Yeah, it's no longer content. I'm just going to be sharing me and what I do. Clearly, I'm rusty because I didn't then put the box up. Anyway, guys, please write those suggestions. Hey. So here's one of the few responses that I've gotten back. Day in the lives, I can try. A lot of people said vlogs. Nah, like guys, I keep saying, but like I don't do much. But okay, maybe vlogs, and I have a lot of footage, so maybe vlogs. Study with me's, I would love to, but remember this is Instagram content, nah? Not Instagram, sorry, YouTube content. So study with me's on YouTube. That's what you mean. And then story times, because I have a lot to say. You won't believe the amount of people who said exactly this. They said story times because I have a lot to say. No, guys. Little me. I don't feel like I have a lot to say. I feel like I'm just in the middle of drama always. Like, okay, maybe we can do Instagram story times, nah? How's that? Hey, talking of which, I have one now that I think I should actually maybe share. But my problem with my story times is it always involves. So here's another response, very, very similar to the one that I've just shared. I don't know, why do you guys think I have a lot going on? I mean, partially true. But I'm either one of two things. Either I have like a lot going on or I have absolutely nothing going on. There's no in between. But I was trying to say previously that my problem with the story times is my stories always involve other people, and sometimes I feel like if I divulge, and this is like the social media paradox, your story is never completely your own. It always involves others, and so I fear sometimes that if I share, I'm exposing somebody else's experience and story. But I want to share just one. Getting a little filter, so that I must look like other children's. This filter said skin gold, chocolate and caramel. Ooh. Anyway, I wanted to basically share like I really want to do story times, but it's difficult because your story is not your own, and I don't want to expose anybody. And my current situation, if I can call it that, I haven't yet walked to the conceivable end of what I'm going through and made a decision about what I'm going to do. So I don't know how to share it because I don't yet know what the consequences of those actions, if I take them, will be. But I want to share it. But at the same time, I'm like, what if I choose not to take my own advice? What if I take the risk? What if I succumb to temptation? The only way that this will work is if I do story times with lessons, so that you gain something and you're not just being entertained by my experiences. Yeah, so let's call them story times with lessons. And the current experience that I'm currently going through requires me to preface it this way. A friend of mine who we both converted to Christianity in our 20s, early 20s, but the outworkings of that conversion were different, especially sexually. And so we were talking about purity, I think, yeah, sexual purity, and how there is an underrated and hidden blessing in converting young and being faithful to that conversion. So basically, you get a lot less traumas, you get a lot less relationship trauma, you have a lot less those soul ties, I think they're called. Converting early protects you from certain lifestyle choices that don't coincide with the word of God, right? So by virtue of being a believer, a young believer, you then don't have all those relationships, the sexual things that come with the relationships, brokenhearted, homosexuality, drugs, alcohol. Like, there is a lifestyle that you follow as soon as you become a believer. So that was the conversation. And I think I took that protection for granted. I don't think it's an underrated blessing. I think it's just something you take for granted because you don't even consider those things choices. But you don't actually realize the shielding that comes with that choice, that one choice that you made. Yeah, so that was the conversation. Anyway, but now I find myself in a situation where I am, I guess, in a temptation. So I'm about to overshare, I guess. Hey, we get off. Hi. Okay, so I'm currently in a predicament where the temptation that I have now is something that I didn't deal with in my 20s because I chose purity. Unknowingly, by choosing purity, I blocked the chance for any adultery or fornication or anything of that sort, porn, any kind of sexual temptations to, feature in my life. So I've never actually had to battle those things. Like, it's never been, I hear people talk about, oh, it's so hard. Oh, but I love him. Like, why are you with a married man? Oh, I love him. I'm just like, are you crazy? But now, in your 30s, as you grow, I think you learn that life isn't as black and white, and there are opportunities to bend based on context. So I guess you could say I am facing my first big girl. My first big girl temptation in my 30s, mid 30s. But yeah, and it's not a good place to be. I don't think there is a joy and a satisfaction in toying with the temptation, knowing that you're not going to give in, right? But anything is possible, and I don't want to give you the impression that it's a good idea to toy around with danger. But I'm in a silly mood, okay? If I choose to give into the temptation, it will undermine everything that I've built in the past 15 years. It'll undermine me in terms of my values and who I say I am as a person. So I definitely can't let it happen. But for the first time, it's hard. So yeah, today has been a journaling day and reflection. And to be honest, I haven't done a lot of journaling and reflection, which is not great. I actually need to get on that. But I've been sitting on this thing and thinking about it and somewhat praying about it, talking to a friend about it, and also toying with it, which is where the problem is. But I realized, talking about this now, that I've never had to face this before because it's never been something that I've desired. A temptation, by the very definition of a temptation, is something that appeals to you at the wrong time from the wrong source. So I'm only being tempted in this moment by this thing, this offer, because I want it. So temptation basically comes from a desire that is lacking. So I'm currently reflecting about where potentially the lack is in my life that has created this desire. Because I've never ever had this issue. It's never been an issue for me. So it's like, now I get it. I get why it's called a temptation, and I get why it's tempting. But at the same time, I also need to reflect on what is manifesting in me a desire to pursue this when I know it is wrong. So yeah, that's what I meant when I said there's a lack. It might be a lack of intimacy. It might be a lack of companionship. Yeah, there's a lack somewhere. I feel like I've said too much. I feel like I've just said too much, and I need to wrap it up because, wow, somebody needs to get on it. I need to get praying. I need to get fasting. I need to get journaling. But my friend just reminded me that, and thank God for godly friends, yeah? Please get yourself some godly friends who will hold you accountable to the standards that you claim to keep. My friend just reminded me that temptation is always strategic. It's always when you need your mental sobriety, when you need a clear mind, when you need your time, that something that consumes you, the temptation consumes you. It doesn't just, flirt with you a little bit here and there. It consumes your time. It consumes your energy. It consumes your livelihood, like your freedom. It consumes. And she just reminded me that it's strategic. So yeah, my friend reminded me that temptation is always strategic, that nothing happens by chance, and it's always the timing. The timing lets you know, there's something up here. And she used the example of Jesus, the goat, or I guess, the lamb. And when he was tempted after 40 days of fasting, right after he came out of the fast, not on day 21, not on day 37, when he came out, when he was like on the precipice of success, he was tempted with food. He was tempted with safety. He was tempted with power. Things that probably appealed to him in that moment of hunger and weakness. And so the timing of your temptations also is significant. Don't be foolish. Don't allow the devil to mess with you, and always cross-check your feelings with the word. I need to go and sort myself out because I'm being a bad gal. Peace.